Good afternoon, everybody. Today, these notes cover Tight Learning Day 29 and 30, and they should look extremely familiar because we've been living in the geometry world for the past two sets of notes, and we've got one more that'll be geometry-ish. So this one is over area and the law of sines. We love the law of sines. Okay, area of a triangle is 1/2 the base times the height. And yes, everyone should know that now. When you don't know the height, but you know an angle, you can still find the area using a rule that we touched upon in geometry, but everybody seemed to kind of dismiss it because they were concentrating on the law of sines. But any triangle ABC with side lengths A, B, and C has area. 1/2 BC times sine A, or you can find it using 1/2 AC times sine B, or you can find it using 1/2 AB sine C. This one is probably the easiest one for you to remember because it goes in order. So you're going to have to know one of our angles and two of our sides. And remember, the triangle itself does not have to be right. When you draw the height, you would get a right triangle, but given the triangle, it does not have to be a right triangle in order to use this to find area and to calculate law of sines. So let's look. What is the area of triangle ABC to the nearest tenth of a square mile? If I know that angle A is 31 degrees, the distance from A to B is 10 miles, and the distance from A to C is 5 miles. Okay, so in this triangle, I know that B is 5, C is 10, and the measure of angle A is 31. So I'm just going to put this into one of my equations. I'm going to use this one. 1/2 5 times 10 times sine of 31 degrees. And I'm going to get my answer, which is 12.9. So that one's pretty much cookbook math. You just plug your things into the recipe and boom, you get your answer. Now, our total review. This leads us to the law of sines. Now, we did law of sines a lot in geometry. And then I believe Emily can correct me on this, and everyone else that I had last year. We also did it in Algebra 2, correct? So Marley and Raphael and let's see, it was everybody but Hunter. Yeah, everybody but Hunter was in Algebra 2 with me. So I think we've done this twice. We did it in geometry, so I taught everybody, and then I think we did it again in Algebra 2. So right now Marley is eating her Tic Tacs, and Emerson, you need to quit texting and pay attention to me. All right, had to do it, sorry. The law of sines works when we know two angles and a side of a triangle. So if you have angle, angle, side, or angle, side, angle, and we never have angle, side, side. So everybody remember that. Law of sines. In any triangle, the ratio of the sine of each angle to its opposite side is constant. In particular, for triangle ABC, labeled as shown. So here we go. And remember, it's not a right triangle. Sine of A over A equals sine of angle B over side B equals sine of angle C over side C. All right, let's use this as an example. In triangle PQR, if I know that R is 39 degrees, Q is 32 degrees, and PQ is 40, what is RQ? Okay? All right, could we find P? We could, because we know that the three angles inside a triangle are going to add up to 180. So we could find P, but do we need to at this second? No, we don't. So we could find it if we want to, but at the second, did we need it? We didn't yet, but now let's reevaluate. Okay, I have this angle on this side and this angle and no side, and this angle and no side, but we want our Q. So we're going to have to relate this angle to this side. Now, if I had used this angle, I could have found this side, but it's not right. So Pythagorean theorem isn't going to help us here. So we need to go ahead and calculate side P, so angle P, so we can get the side that we actually want. So 109. So sine of 109 over RQ, that's what we're looking for, equals sine of 39 over 40. Okay? Now I'm going to do a cross product. Sine of 109 times 40 equals sine of 39. r cubed, divide both sides by sine of 39, and there's my answer. All right, let's look at it a little bit differently. Let's go triangle RST, and I've got to draw it because it's not given. So I'm going to draw RST. Side little t is 7. Side little r is 9, so that's going to be opposite. And then the measure of r is 110, and I want to know what is s. Okay? So I'm going to say sine of t over 7 equals sine of r, which is 110, over r, which is 9. Then I'm going to solve for the measure of angle t. Now remember, once I need to find the measure of angle t, I've got to do inverse sine on both sides. So that's what's happening here to give me my 47. Now that I know t is 47, I'm trying to find s. So regardless, a triangle adds up to 180 degrees. So I can say the measure of s is equal to 180 minus those other two sides, which will give me 23. Now, we probably have some problems on the homework assignment that's going to cause us to work these either way, or maybe use some other things that we might or might not remember from geometry. So if you get stumped on something, just let me know, send me a message on Remind, and we can work through it. So I will see you guys again soon.